Hello everyone, John Eisenhower here, and this video tutorial is how to insert a citation into the cause and effect final draft. So what I'm looking at here is the student example for the cause and effect paper. And you can see that the student has inserted one quotation from the Michael Rogers essay right here in the second paragraph, and this student provided an in-text citation, which is this section here, and that is called an in-text citation, sometimes called a parenthetical citation because it's in parentheses. And the student also provided a works cited citation here. The job of the in-text citation is to point, the job of the in-text citation is to provide a road sign to demonstrate to the reader where the information, in this case this quote, came from. And what this does is points to the correct works cited citation, and the works cited citation's job is to show the reader exactly where the author found the information that she used in this paper. Now, it might seem fairly obvious that in this case, because she was only required to, as you are, to use one citation, it may be fairly obvious that she got it from this source, Michael Rogers. However, if she was doing a paper, and she certainly will be in higher level courses where she uses multiple citations, then it's very important to have, it becomes a lot more important to have the in-text citation uh, right next to the resource, right next to the reference, so that the reader can easily tell where it came from. So let me show you how to do that. First, all she did, and all you have to do for this assignment, is, because we're just getting started, I realize this is very new to most of you, all you have to do is find a quote or paraphrase something from the Michael Rogers piece that fits into the paper that you're writing. You can see that the topic of this paragraph was about social media and how it causes health issues. So she found something in the Michael Rogers piece that had to do with health issues, and she quoted it here. When she quoted it, she included a parenthetical citation, a in-text citation, that included the author's name, and that's going to be our road sign to point us to the correct works cited citation, and she provided the page numbers where her quote came from. Now, it just so happens that her quote spanned 2 pages, so she put 2 page numbers in there and put it in parentheses with the period after. So she put quotation marks around Michael Rogers' words. If she used a paraphrase of his words, and that means put his ideas in her own words, she'd still have to cite it, but she would not use quotation marks because the quotation marks indicate that she used the author's exact words. But if you paraphrase from an author, you still have to cite that author's ideas. Those ideas are still not yours. And you would still cite it the same way with the last name and the page number where you found the information. Now that's easy to put that in. But what's not so easy is to create this works cited citation, and you are required to have it on the final draft of the cause and effect paper. So I'm going to show you, I'm going to do a basic demonstration of how to do that in Google Drive. And you can see the example. You can see the example of the works cited citation here, and you can also see the example in another example that's exactly the same from the cause and effect final draft revision assignment in Module 5. You can find that under the specific guidelines for citation. There are instructions for how to do it, and you'll also see the example here. But I'm going to show you how to do this example right now. So at the end, by the end of this video, you should know how to create this on your document. So what I'll do is I'll switch to the Google Drive version of the same student's Google Drive version of the same student's example essay. And the way I'll get ready to begin my citation is to come to the very end of the essay and hit enter until I go to the first line of the next blank page. That's the first line of the next blank page. And to get started, I will hit the center align button or hold Control, Shift, and tap E. And I'll write works cited and hit enter one time. Then I'll move my cursor back to the left by clicking the left align key or button or holding down Control, Shift, and tapping L. Now you could have done that without me showing you, so I'm going to show you the hard part now. As you remember from the MLA formatting instructions, up here, your first line indent is set so that the first line of every paragraph is indented by 1/2 inch, and that's represented by the triangle here and the rectangle here on your ruler bar. And what we're going to do is set up what's called hanging indent, which is the exact opposite of the regular paragraph indent. And to do that, we first have to drag the rectangle back to the triangle. And you can see the cursor moved. We'll take the triangle, which will move both icons, back to 1/2 inch. And that will make all our text go in by 1/2 inch. But we want the first line to be justified to the left margin. So we'll take just the rectangle and pull it back to the margin. It may be a little difficult to see on my screen here, but let's see if I can blow it up. But you can see that the rectangle is now right on the border between the gray left margin and the white. And what will happen here is that when we begin to type, the first line will be justified all the way to the left margin, and every line after will be indented by 1/2 inch. So let's get started. All I really have to do now is just to copy the information from the example, the student example, or the information from the assignment itself in Module 5, because the information is the same, and since everybody is using a citation from the same piece, the information will be accurate for all of you. So I'll start with the author's name, and in this case that's Rogers Michael. Last name first, first name last, and a period and a space. This is the author of the article that I'm citing, not the author of the book where I found it. In quotation marks, I'm going to write what evolutionary psychology says about social networking, because that's the name of the article that I'm citing. I put a period, quotation marks, and hit a space. Next, I'm going to type in the name of the book where I found the article, and that's your textbook, which is Nexus. The title of a book, longer works such as a movie, book, CD, things of that nature, need to be italicized, and the way you can do that is either to hit the italicize button, which is the slanted I here, or you can hold down the control key and tap I, and you can see the cursor is now slanted. So I'm going to type in the name of the textbook where I found this piece. Nexus, a rhetorical reader for writers. I'll take off my italics by hitting Control I again, or clicking on the italics button, remember, the button with the I. Then I'll put a period in and another space. Our textbook is the second edition, so I type in 2ND for second, and then ED for edition, period, and then a space. Now, sometimes you'll see a book like ours have editors, and sometimes the authors will be listed as authors. In our particular textbook, Kim Flackman and Michael Flackman are listed as authors. So I'm going to write by, and I have to type in their full names, first name first, last name last. With a period and a space. Next comes the city where the piece was published, where the textbook was published, which is Upper Saddle River. That's a town in New Jersey, by the way. I'll put a colon in. Let me make that a little bigger so you can see it. I'll put a colon in and another space. Then the name of the publishing company, which in this case is Pearson, a comma, the copyright date, which for our textbook is 2015, and a period. Then I will put the inclusive page numbers where my article can be found in that textbook. Not just the page numbers that we cited like we did in the parenthetical citation, in the in-text citation. Here, we include all of the page numbers where the article is in the text. So that would be 346 through 348. We'll put a period, a space, and then the word print and a period. The word print here refers to the medium in which we found our article. And it means that we actually had a hard copy, the actual book with physical pages. If we had gotten this article from the internet, we would have written web here. So that's all there is to it, guys. That's all there is to creating a works cited page. If you had, since we set up our margins and our indentation correctly to begin with, if we needed to do another citation, we would hit enter and begin from here. And you can see how the text just starts back to where it needs to be. But for this piece, you're only required to do one citation. You only need to put in one reference in the text of your paper and create a works cited citation for the Michael Rogers piece, What Evolutionary Psychology Says About Social Networking. All right, everyone, I hope that helps. If you have any questions, please contact me through the Questions for the Instructor discussion board, or over email, or call me, or come see me in my office during office hours. Thank you. Bye-bye now.